are you?
I'm
Let me
fine. How
see.
about you?
This
Good,
meeting
good,
is
good.
being recorded.
Do you mind if I record this?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Definitely.
Look, you're
Yeah.
in where? Looks like you're in the mansion.
In the mansion? No. This is a little office that I have here. Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
yeah.
So you guys want to understand more about the CMC programs?
Yes.
Okay.
How this thing works, or maybe it's
Do-
like since you're gonna be like recording this, you might as well introduce yourself first, and then I could
Got it.
introduce it.
Got it. We're getting connected at the right time because I just finished my presentation at Cornerstone Realtor Association,
Oh, no
where
way.
I shared all my stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I actually have some visual material I can show you.
Perfect. Yeah, take it
So
away.
my story
Yeah,
today is really all about you, but if you want to know my story, this is
sure.
it. I was born in China, and
Oh,
I was born in 1991, and I was born to a farmer's family.
mhm.
As you can see, it's all rice fields in the background.
Nice.
And my parents are entrepreneurial, and I think that passed that genes to me. And in 1999, they started a business in a larger city, so I moved to that city with them, and they did relatively well. And in 2012, they sold the business, and like a lot of Asian parents, they bought me a property. And at the
Nice.
time, I was only 21 years old, and I had no idea what it's like to be a landlord.
Mhm.
And 2 years down the road, I wanted to change, so I came over to Canada. I landed in a city called Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's right in the middle of the country.
Mhm.
And I partnered up with my buddies, and also one of my buddies' father is a contractor. So that really gave us some competitive advantage. And we started flipping properties. We held some rental properties in Winnipeg when I was there. 2018 to 2019, I was called back to China to develop these industrial warehouses with my family. They're all leased up now. And 2019, around this time of the year in 2019, I came back to Canada and I settled in Mississauga and I've been here since. I got my mortgage agent license at the time, and started doing mortgages. And with the help of my mentors and also my team, we funded a lot of mortgages, and we helped a lot of people own rental properties, refinance at only 2 to 3% interest rate. So that's something I'm really proud of. During this time of my first property till now, I built a small portfolio for myself, and currently I own 10 units with right around 20 tenants. This is my newest acquisition. It's a small commercial building in downtown London.
Mhm.
So became a commercial landlord for the first time lately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I do help a lot of realtors because, like I was telling you, I go to Cornerstone to teach realtors how to own more real estate. So if that's something you want to do, or if that's something your clients want to do, I have a lot of good resources I can share with you.
Perfect. Yeah, this is absolutely what we want to do.
Got
It's
it.
perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
Did you say you came from Manitoba?
Manitoba.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you must know a guy named Manjeet.
Manji.
Manjeet
Manji
Hunter?
is
Yeah.
a coach.
Yeah, coach.
Yeah.
Like
I
were you
never
part of
took his
their
coach.
no?
No, no.
No.
I had a contractor, the different one from my buddy's father, a different
Yeah.
contractor. His name is Larry Muth.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot of stuff,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah.
I didn't have to purchase a course.
Yeah, they're all the same thing anyways. Once you know it, the basic is all the same. Basic
Yeah,
capital, how to invest it, So
yeah,
yeah. So that's good. It's good to know about your background. It's definitely, it's good to learn from hands-on, right? Because most of this theory sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like when it comes to get to the financing, that's when you get a problem, right? So
yeah,
yeah, for example, there's a lot of people that like are teaching how to do Burr model, but like really like theory. But when it comes to really get down to the financing part, that's when like something will get legs out, right? Anyway,
yeah.
so yeah,
Birds are still straightforward, but I'm noticing that birds are kind of hard to work out in the current market because the
correct,
ARVs are not
yes,
really coming as strong as people are anticipating.
correct, yeah, it's hard to find,
Yeah,
especially now for Toronto. Can't really do Burr here. Like Burr would only probably gonna work in places like Manitoba, Alberta, where the property we can get like 50 cents for a dollar, right? But where can you find it here? It's very rare that you're gonna come across with that. If ever, the competition is gonna be really stiff, right? When it comes to this type of a property,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's so that's why I'm more interested into this new development where you could develop your own piece of land, right? So we
Mhm.
could
Are you guys GTA based?
Yes, yeah, we're
GTA
GTA
based?
based. Yeah,
Okay.
so like here and there we kind of dabble into investments, but like eventually we want to scale it up, right?
Mhm.
That's the like hard part because like when you try to scale up, when you get to like three properties, you cap up, right? Unless like you
Yeah.
resort to like raising a capital and things like that, which it's not for everybody, right?
It's not for
Basically,
everybody, and a
yeah.
lot of people are doing that wrong.
Yes,
All it
yes,
takes is for somebody to call the Ontario Securities Commission, and
that's
they're
right.
gonna get a huge fine.
Yes, yeah, because I'm
They're doing
seeing
all
it
wrong.
like left, right, and like center. I'm like, I don't know how these guys can get away with it, like especially when you're doing the like when you're trying to like advertise, right? Like, when you're doing the pro forma and when you're advertising it. So I thought like you're supposed to get the a clearance from the SEC, right?
Yeah,
So
they're doing this all wrong. But hey,
yeah,
we can do better.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
So
yeah, so
Alex, you on your book, I saw that you guys want to know more about the MI Select program.
yes, correct.
Should I give you like a rough rundown of the
Sure,
program, or you
please.
have some specific questions?
Sure, yeah. Like maybe you could do it first, and then and then we could ask you a question right after.
Okay. So on a high level, so CMHC MI Select program is a new program that was rolled out in 2022 that offers are you familiar with the standard product, CMHC MI Standard?
Yes, there's a different tier like level one, level two, and three. Where I think the like level three is where you can
Yeah.
get up to like 95% LTV.
So you're referring to the MI Select program. Select program has different tiers that
Okay.
based on how many points you earn.
Yeah.
The more points you earn, the higher the level you go, the higher the loan to value, the cheaper the insurance.
Right.
Standard, it's a different product. But
Okay.
MI Select program was newly designed and rolled out in 2022 to help address the housing issue here in Canada. So
Oh,
basically,
okay.
the CMHC is an insurance entity. They will insure the mortgages. So whichever lender is going to fund the mortgage knows that this loan, even if it goes into default, CMHC will back them up.
Right. So help me understand it. So a CHMC is not the one that giving out the loan. They were just giving out the blessings to the financial uh, institution.
CMC, in short, yes, CMC, you're right. CMC is not going to be the lender. It's only the insurance provider. However, CMC doesn't have a program. It's called AC. Obviously, that's the Rental Construction Financing Initiative, RCFI program, where CMC is the lender.
Sorry, can you go back to the phrases a little bit? A CHMC called CHMC.
CMHC
Okay.
is the insurance provider.
Right.
They don't fund loans, with one
Mhm.
exception that if you go to the ACLP, Apartment Construction Loan Program, previously it's called RCFI, Rental Construction Finance Initiative. If you use that program, CMC is going to be the direct lender. However, it's
Okay.
very difficult to qualify for that program. In Toronto, the chances of you qualifying is extremely slim because the criteria says you have to produce a certain social outcome. Basically, you have to do affordable rents. Now, you don't want to do affordable rents probably because the affordable rents here in Toronto is way less than the fair market value, fair
Right.
market rents. And also a lower rent will produce a lower net operating income, which eventually leads to a lower valuation of your asset. So your project might not be feasible.
Right. So this type of program will only gonna kick in when it comes to like about four Plex, which is a commercial type of loan.
Five, you have to
Five,
have
right?
5 residential units.
Mm-hmm.
You can finance mixed use as well,
Right.
but but you still have to have more than 5 residential units, and the square footage of the commercial space needs to be less than 30% of the total square footage.
Got it. Okay. So, but in order for you to qualify, let's just say, for example, I have a property now where I I own a piece of land which I have one door and I want to convert it into, let's say, fourplex or like sixplex in the future, right? So it'd be like fiveplex. So in order for me to qualify for this, I had to follow this guideline, which is the one that it was written on the CHMC MLI Select type of guidelines, where based on that point, if I hit all the points, depending on how my project is, I think the maximum that you could do is 95% LTV.
LTV 95% maximum.
Yeah, and from like what you're saying, it's gonna be like really hard to like hit that mark, like pretty much.
Not necessarily. Where are you interested in developing?
Let's say like Ward 23 in Toronto, which is
In Toronto?
Scarborough, right?
Yeah. Scarborough, there are a lot of 4+1 projects, and it is very difficult for you to hit 95% loan to value because the loan itself is debt service, needs to be debt serviced by the net operating income. How much time do you guys have today?
I'm sorry, like
How much time do you guys have today?
Oh yeah, at anytime. Like we
You have
can do
time?
this all day.
All day?
Right.
Okay. I don't want to take you,
No
tie
problem.
you
No.
down here all day, but if
Yeah.
you have time, do you want to know how everything works? I can show you
Sure.
everything from A to Z,
Please.
so you have
Yeah.
a better understanding. So basically, if you are going to construct a building, you're gonna have a asset value that's determined by the net operating income
Mm-hmm.
and also the cap rate. This
Right.
is very different from residential valuations because residential valuations is based on how much your neighbors sold for, right? But commercial asset, it's determined by the net operating income divided by the cap rate. Net operating income in essence is basically the revenue minus all your expenses. Now, the MI Select program has some nuance to it. Then the standard program is now this program will add reserve expenses. So, for example, how many appliances you have in each unit will count as expense. So CMC thinking is that if these appliances break down, you as the landlord have to replace them or fix them. How much will be the cost? So they call these benchmark expenses. In reality, you likely won't have any if you're redeveloping something into brand new. The appliances will come with extended warranty, so no additional cost for you to repair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the expense. Other expenses are standard expenses, for example, property tax, insurance, utility for the communal area, maintenance and repair. This is a standard expense as well, and management, and also salary payable to caretakers or site supers. Your revenue is very simple. For a rental business, most of your income will come from rental income. You're gonna have to deduct your vacancy, and if you have other income, for example, parking, laundry, these are additional income we can include into the pro forma. This sheet you're seeing right here is called a pro forma. So now from the green part, you know what your revenue is. From the yellow part, you know how much your expenses are. So you can now calculate your debt coverage, your net operating income. And using a cap rate, you can come up with a asset value as if it's fully developed and ready for occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A lower rent, for example, this is a 10 unit pro forma. So let's say we change this rent to, let's say 1,000. So you will see the numbers will change. So I'm going to change this to 1,000, change this to 1,000 as well. Our net operating income is going to drop. On the same cap rate, the building will be worth less.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying, if you have to provide affordable housing to the renters in Toronto, it might not be feasible for you because once you do that, your project is now worth less. It will also give you a smaller net operating income, so you might not be able to fully debt service the loan, and you have to either reduce the loan or bump up the rent.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah. So that's really how it works on this part, the calculation of the net operating income. Now, something for you to understand is how the loans are sized. That means what kind of loan to value can you get? So loan to value is sized by a few factors. Number one is, of course, the interest rate. If the interest rate, so pay attention to DCR, debt coverage ratio, and the interest rate. Right now, let's say it's 4.7. So if I drop that to, let's say, 3.2, the mortgage payment is going to be smaller, and my income is the same. My net operating income is the same. So now I have more room to debt service, right? But if the rate goes to, let's say, 8%, I still have this much income, so I won't be able to debt service at more than 1.1, which is the requirement under the Select program. This is one of the factors. Amortization is also another factor. So let's say I can now debt service at 1.1, but if I'm only getting a 25-year amortization, the payments will go up and I will no longer be able to debt service. So on the other hand, if I'm getting the 50-year amortization, I have more room to debt service, right?
Okay.
And
So
back to the levels you were asking me earlier, different levels will give you different amortization. Sorry, you had a question?
right. S- So like from what you're saying here is that so the higher the cap rate, the more favorable your your loan going to be. Is that
No,
what
the
you're
higher the cap rate, the cheaper the property, because it's net operating income divided by a cap rate. So if we change cap rate to, let's say, 10%, the value is only 2.4. But if we keep the property at a 5 cap, now it's worth 4.8. If cap rate is only 3.5, now my building is worth even more.
Oh, okay. So
Do you see?
so they would calculate based on uh what the output of your building is. That's how you get the funding from the CHMC program. Part
Yeah,
of it. Um,
part of it. Because loan to value, the loan amount is determined by the asset price and also loan to value, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. And this is for just for the new build, or is it something that you could do? Let's just say, for example, if you were to acquire a property where, like you want to do, like when you, if you want to do a value add, let's just say, like you want to force appreciate it and just use this as like exit strategy. Is this going to work too, or is it
Yeah, it's going to
something?
work as well. This program is available on brand new builds, existing buildings, and also construction.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
This pro forma, in fact, is a
mm,
value add. That's why we have cash for keys.
gotcha. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's what you're basing on. All right. Um, in terms of qualifications, let's just say, for example, investor comes and like want to buy a building, say like
Mhm.
five Plex, and they want to force appreciate. They want to take their money out on the refinance, right? Um, what are the qualifications? Is the building going to qualify, or do they need to show their like personal guarantee to this building, or is it just it's strictly like rental like assets that would like qualify for it?
It's the loan itself is mostly qualified using the net operating income and
Uh-huh.
also the debt coverage ratio. So personal income is secondary. However, CMHC has a requirement. You need to have 25% of the loan amount in net worth to qualify. So if you're requesting a $4 million loan, you need to have a $1 million net worth. The money you put into this subject project does not count as your net worth.
Okay, so let's just say, for example, so when you say like net worth, is it like liquid, or is it something like for example, if you have other properties like other like rental, is this something that would count as
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So real estate equity is part of the net worth. It doesn't have to be liquid.
okay. So in like theory, so all you need just pretty much is just get your if you're gonna go for the 5% down, 95% LTV. All you need like shoulder is just the 5%, which like you could. Can you actually like raise a capital for that, or
You can
what?
raise capital, depends on how you do it,
Mm.
because you can raise capital by multiple ways. You can do GPLP, shareholder agreement, joint venture agreement, silent partner, depends on how you do it.
And
Yeah.
they don't care where you get the money from as long as you have the.
CMC does care where you get the money from, but they are very flexible with this with these different structures. So unlike a residential lending, so for example, if you're raising money through an LP and you're the GP, you guys as GP still have to meet the net worth requirement.
Right.
But where you're gonna get the down payment from, it's very obvious. You get the money from the LPs. CMC has no problem with that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
there was no, let's just say, for example, if there's a both parties created a corporation, like brand new a corporation, it doesn't matter like when if they just created, or like do you have to have a certain period of time like where you
No,
could implement this?
no. You can set up a brand new corporation to hold the asset and still get a loan, no issue, because you still have to provide personal guarantee
Okay, which
under
is your
60,
assets.
which ties to all your net worth really,
Got you. Okay.
right? Under 65% loan to value, you no longer need to have you no longer need to sign a personal guarantee. But over 65% loan to value, you still have to offer a personal guarantee.
Got you. Okay, so that's pretty much a traditional, right? Financing. If you're gonna go with a 65.
So yeah, well, we call it conventional financing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of amortization, is it a lot better if it's a CHMC a program, or does it have a differences between if you go to the conventional, like, whereas if you have to go to this like route, is it much more cheaper? Like not cheaper, much more lower interest rate amortization, or
Amortization
is it?
itself has nothing to do with the interest rate,
Mm.
but amortization on conventional loans are usually 25 to 30 years.
Mhm.
25 is the most common on commercial assets, sometimes even 20, but 25 is still the most common, just like any residential loans.
Right.
Only with CMHC insurance, you can go above 35%, 35 years in amortization.
35%. Okay.
35 years in amortization.
So which a lot better, because then your monthly would go down, right? So your
That's
CapEx would
right. Your monthly payment, just like I was showing you, the longer the amortization, the cheaper the payment, the better the debt servicing. However,
right.
there's a drawback on that. So the longer the amortization, the longer it's going to take for you to pay off the loan. So the longer it's going to take for you to really make money.
Right. Okay. Got you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you really need to make sure you're making money on the buy, you're executing all your business plan very well, so you can make money on the takeout. If you're betting on paying on the mortgage, it's gonna take you a whole lot of time for you to actually make some money.
So what happened if you okay? So you're doing this, and what happened if you just do a brand new constructions, and then you're not making any money? For example, if suffering a negative cash flow like on the property, can
You can actively cash flow on property and still get CMHC because the minimum debt coverage requirement is 1.1. That tells me if you have $100,000, let's say $100,000 in mortgage payments, your net income needs to be 110,000 minimum. If your net operating income is, let's say it's only 90,000, so you're not debt servicing, you got to cut down the loan to value, pour more of your own money into it, and
gotcha.
then you will be able to debt service.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. And this can go like not just in Ontario, but you could do this like anywhere else too, at different provinces, right?
Yeah, this is nationwide.
A nationwide. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a session like this in the States, or like do you know, or
No, this program is not available in the States. CMC is a corporation in Canada.
you just work out? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay. And I guess the it's just understanding of like which one is better, if you're gonna go for a new build, or taking on as an existing building assets that you want to like force it, right? In your like, opinion, is there a pros and cons, like doing a new build versus just like doing the traditional way? Get in, do you like refi, cash out, and like pay off your like investors?
New build from the perspective of whom? Of the developer or the buyer?
A buyer, let's just say, a
Buyer.
buyer wants to do a new like new build, like whereas them are taking over an like, asset class which they want to just like force appreciate it.
New build, there's really no room for you to force appreciate
Right.
because it's pretty much ready to be stabilized from day one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot of room for you to force appreciate. The pro is the maintenance workload and the cost is going to be relatively low on new builds, and they're not usually subject to rent control unless the city has some covenants on these properties,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
which is going to be good for Toronto.
Yeah,
That's the
that's right.
pro. The con is
Mhm.
once you buy something like that, your money's locked in for a very long time. There's no way for you to recycle it,
Mhm.
and
Gotcha.
they're usually expensive. In Toronto, you're not gonna get 95% because the loan itself needs to be debt serviced. It's right around 70 to 70, 65% to 75% loan to value maximum. And CMHC needs you to have 5 units. So we're talking about 4 million, 5 million in purchase price. 30% of that, it's well over 1 million. So it's a lot of money trapped in one project.
Gotcha. Which you could do in a traditional way. You could just refinance it, like take your money out and like rinse it and like repeat it again, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha. Okay, okay. So that's how it works.
yeah.
Um, and but the good thing is that if you have a piece of land that you want to pretty much develop, then it would work out. But then again, you have to hold it for a long period of time, hoping that it would first appreciate or it will appreciate in the future.
Not necessarily. I mean, I visited a four plus one project in the beach in Toronto the
Mhm.
other day, last week.
Mhm.
So they're doing a 4 plus 1 development on it. With land, if you want to do a development, um, so number one, you have to really come up with a total budget that includes the land cost, the soft cost, your hard cost, and if you're
Correct.
doing
Yeah.
cash for keys and also city fees.
Mhm.
So you really have to understand your budget because CMHC only goes up to 95 under this program. On paper, it's 95% loan to cost, but
Low to cost. Yeah.
loan to cost, these are
Yes.
the cost.
Right.
But it's going to be either 95% loan to cost or the term loan amount, whichever is lower. So for example, if the term loan you're only getting, let's say, 3 million and your total budget is 4 million, you're not gonna get 95% of 4 million. You're only getting 3 million because the term loan needs to be larger enough to pay out the construction loan. So that tells
Oh,
me out of the 4 million budget, if you're getting 3 million in loan, you need to have $1 million equity to even start a construction.
gotcha.
It's still not cheap.
Mhm. Yeah, and then that's right. Yeah, it's and plus like you have to make sure that all your like rental will support it too, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
like once you started, once is it from the day one from the construction that the interest rates that the interest like starts on the construction like
On the first
from the
draw.
time on the
On the
first draw.
first draw. Yeah. But you don't have to pay any interest payments every month because that's part of the cost too. So
Oh,
the interest you need to pay, it's part of the cost. It's actually financeable.
gotcha. Okay. And can you use like registered funds like on the initial uh like from the deposit like from the down payment or is it
You
just
can,
is it, like you can do it
you,
there was no restrictions,
you can, there's no restriction. Just if it's a RSP, then the money withdraw from RSP becomes taxable. You need to pay tax on it.
right?
Yeah.
Or you could do the like you could do the traditional way like which you borrow the like RSP out and then you pay interest like on it. But then again, it's like your money is going to be trapped because like there was no like refinance on this, right? That's
Well, if you can borrow from that, no issue. But you have to subordinate to a bank senior loan. and it's you're gonna have to get the lawyer to register, although it's you borrowing your own money. So the cost, from what I can see, doesn't really make sense.
Okay. And is there a thing, like for example, when you started this, can a CHMC like pull out on your a project? Let's just say, for example, if the like amount of, say, the constructions takes longer, or can they pull out like once you like started, or?
I haven't seen any like that because usually developers. So I haven't seen that because CMHC usually underwrites that upfront. They want to make sure you have experience, or the builder you're gonna hire has experience. If you're experiencing a delay in construction, you're gonna run out of the interest reserve, and while CMC pull out, they won't. Their job is to provide you with the insurance. The lenders pull out. I haven't encountered any, but I guess there's a chance.
Yeah, I guess if you come across with a bad developer, which they like halfway through, they decided to like take longer. There's a problem. So I guess the account is just like you're paying all these loan, and then if it take longer, then it will like eat up your bottom line, right?
You're not paying the monthly payments. That's part of the interest reserve. So for example, if I borrow $100 from you, my interest, let's say, is 10%.
Right.
So I owe you 10%. I owe you $10 for the interest, right? So I don't pay this $10 every month, part of the $10 every month. Instead, I borrow 110 from you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So interest is kind of like prepaid.
Right. Okay. And then you just paying it off like as you go monthly. Okay. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know this. What else I have here? Has
Let
to
me
be like
check.
a fiveplex. Yeah. Do you have something more that like you want to add, or?
That's pretty much it. It's a lot. It's already a lot of information. I have something really good for you. So I actually wrote a book about
Okay.
apartment development financing.
Right.
And on
Okay.
second page, if you don't have the time to read, just click on this. It will take you to a video where I walk you through this book. So this book will tell you these things. What are the options for construction? What are the options for term loans? And what do you need to consider before choosing a loan? What type of loan to go with? And what do you need to show to the lender to even get financing from them? So I run into your questions very often, so I decided to write a book about this.
All this information is good.
Yeah. So loan to cost is going to be different. What determines the loan to cost or loan to value? Just like the example I showed you, amortization, DCR requirement. This is a comparable a comp chart showing you how the loan to cost will look like on the different programs. What the interest rate can you get? What are the terms, the fees, insurance premium, amortization? This is the term loan option on the table compared side by side. Other than that, what do you need to show to the lender? Once again, if you don't have the time, just download this book, go to page 2, click on the picture. I'll read you the book. Very simple.
Gotcha. Okay. And we can find this where? Like where do you find this?
It's on my booking link, tailu.cn.
Yeah, like maybe like you want to flash up for us. Most of my questions is pretty much in that book already. The problem.
You can find the answer in that book.
Yeah, so that definitely. And like just to understand, like you do residential too, right? Like you
We do both.
both. Okay.
Both.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's good to know because I like to connect with the people that like understand investment, right?
Yeah.
Because it's it's very rare that you're gonna find across people unless like they have the personal experience. Like it's different to do the traditional residential, whereas like we're trying to mix them together sometimes if you don't understand the product.
Yeah.
That's
You are right. Most brokers only focus on either commercial or residential. It's very funny because I hired a commercial account manager before. She was a commercial bank from BMO,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked her to do a residential application. She
Mm-hmm.
sent me a full network statement, their business accounts, blah blah. I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or you just how much is the interest rate? That's it. The
yeah,
terms.
yeah.
That,
But we
that,
do both, and we have some additional resources I actually want to quickly share with you. So
sure.
one of my partners
Yeah.
has a feasibility study company. So what they do, give me a second here, I need to load up their website.
If I don't share it,
So what they do is okay, so no worries. So this is the issue. So the construction pyramid will tell you who's involved in the construction project. And for multifamily development, usually developers will hire an architect,
mm-hmm.
and they will usually also hire a construction manager, a builder.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue with developers only hiring architects is architects will design really good looking buildings, but they don't really understand construction
Yes.
or the cost of it. So that's
Yes.
the issue. I can design a building that's going to cost you millions and millions and millions, but it's not feasible. It's
Right.
looking great, but it doesn't work financially. So
Yeah.
my partner hired a set up a company, and he hired a construction manager with over 40 years experience, and also he also hired an architect. So now not only the architect is designing the building for you, you also have a construction manager that will tell you what is the cost of these designs, making sure not only your design is going to work, but also financially the project is going to work out.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's good to know.
Yeah, this is my partner, and they have a few they have quite a bit of projects now. Just that they're relatively new to Ontario. Be honest with you, most of their work is in Alberta, Calgary, some in Edmonton, some in BC as well. So they're relatively new to Ontario. I'm not saying that you need to hire them. I'm saying that if you or your clients want to develop properties, consider the same model. That is, hire an architect and also hire a construction manager or a quantity surveyor to see the
Right.
construct to
Yeah.
measure the construction cost.
Yes. Yes. It's important
I
because
see.
I came across that too in my
Yeah,
last project where I hired a engineer that is from Toronto, and I hired him
yeah,
outside Toronto. Right. So when it comes down to the a small stuff, uh, I got a problem when it comes to the passing the construction because he over engineer it like where he
yeah,
didn't have to. So
yeah.
so it's good
So
to know like this type of stuff because it costs money just to like change the layout plan when you're doing it right.
very expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive. That's one my like lesson is that if you're gonna hiring like architect, make sure that they understand the local code. Because sound like engineers or they're just gonna do the construct the plan, which is they're gonna like over engineer it where
Mhm.
they didn't have to, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah. If you ask them to change order, it's gonna be a separate bill.
correct. Yes.
Very expensive.
It's really and is it can you do a financing to on the backyard suites or a garden suites?
So Equitable Bank has a program for that now, but they have some pretty stringent requirement.
Mhm.
So the main structure have to be kind of like mortgage free, or the equity position is really thick, so they can do a refinance, help you take some equity out, so you can use that money toward the
Oh,
construction of the ADU. It doesn't solve the problem.
yeah, that's true. It's yeah, because that'd be nice if they could as a supporter, right? Because there's some property that have a like nice piece of land like where you could develop
Yeah,
at the back, but
yeah,
where you get the money unless like you like refinance it and you're gonna take it out from your like refi, right? And you gotta support it with
yeah,
like income too. So
yeah.
so that's why it's yeah, it's good to know, man. But I'll connect you to my broker. In like appreciate you. If you could come and give us like a little bit of your time, and
No
like
problem.
like with this type of expertise.
So you're with C21, right?
Yeah, Century
Yeah.
21 here in Markham Road. Are you I didn't ask, like, which location are you at?
I'm at Mississauga. I'm in
Oh,
Mississauga.
Mississauga?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
I'm at
okay,
Meadowvale.
okay. In
Yeah.
Mississauga area. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, but maybe like one day, like we could have a coffee and like chit chat more. I love to
Yeah.
get to know, like, like pick your brain when it comes. I love this type of informative information, right? Stuff
No problem. Yeah.
coming
I'm
from
always happy to share. To me, it's all about building
yeah,
a community,
yeah,
really build a circle for investors. Because
yeah.
I'm active investor myself, like I
That's
was
true.
telling
That's
you
true.
guys.
Mm,
I always need help. So I know other investors needs help as well. So I'm very ready to help.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to know that. Anyways, if
Mhm.
I have any other questions, I'm definitely gonna like reach out to you.